Alright, so we're going to have our big interview right now, and we're joined by student filmmaker Evan Preston.
Hello.
Now, Evan, what can you tell us about what you're working on at the moment?
I'm currently working on a project called Ink-corruptible. And it's a story basically about a bereaved English teenager who has his brother that he lost come back to him. And it basically follows this story and how this brother, or his doppelganger, is a little bit suspicious, a little bit devilish in this film. In fact, he is the devil.
And what can we expect from this film?
You can certainly expect some twists and turns, definitely, from this one.
What was it that made you decide you wanted to become a filmmaker in the first place?
Oh, good question. I think I've always wanted to make what's on at the cinema. I've always seen it, and I've always had quite an admiration for everything that's made there. And I thought, how can I do this? And then I thought, I could be a film director. Now I do everything I can to make that happen.
So did you have anyone in particular that was a big inspiration for you?
Well, certainly from this project at the moment, I take a lot of inspiration from Alfred Hitchcock and Martin Scorsese. They're big inspirations of mine.
Alright, so tell us more about the filmmaking process. What do you really enjoy?
I love just being on set, to be honest with you. I love immersing myself within the film any way I can. There are definitely downsides, but I think so many different things can go wrong on set. But yeah, I think my favourite part as a director is getting the best performance possible out of people.
Alright, what would you say is your least favourite though?
Okay, well, I think in pre-production I really hate storyboarding, but also when somebody's not following direction or kind of messing around behind set, that's always hard to work with. But these things do happen, and it just makes you a better director.
So what can you tell us about your filmmaking history? Have you made films before?
I have been making films for quite a long time now, for quite a few years. The first film I can trace back, it was about 2011, I think. But I've always been interested in films, always try to make them, but I think the first one I count is in 2011. Last year I made The Legend of the Crouching Man, which I know you starred in.
I wasn't going to say anything.
But that was my first big project for a short film, and this is my follow-up. It's not the same story, but it's certainly going to be interesting.
And what's been the most fun to make, and why?
Oh, that's a good question. It's a hard question because everything I'm working on, like when I'm talking about it, I think is the best thing I've done, because every time I make something new, I'm getting better at it, and I'm developing a skill. And so if I had to say at the moment, it would be Ink-corruptible at the moment. But yeah, that's probably it.
People who follow you on Facebook and other social medias, they'll have realised that there has not been much released about it other than a few pictures. Can we expect a release date or a trailer?
Well, I'm glad you asked that, Ben. There's going to be a trailer released on the 29th of January. So you can expect that on Facebook, YouTube, and all good social media.
And how can we find this?
So you can go to Facebook at Devil Presto Film, or you can go on Instagram at Ink-corruptible. That's spelled INKCORRUPTIBLE.
Brilliant. And thank you for being here in the studio. We look forward to seeing your film.
It's my pleasure.
And we hope it comes out well. We assume you're going to join us in the quiz?
Of course, of course.
Alright, so brilliant. We're going to